Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis, preventing tunnel vision and allowing quick target acquisition in awkward shooting positions. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. If you'd like to join us, and a lot of people are doing that right now, you can be part of the madness. It's fun. We're talking about the guns we like, the calibers that we think are the best. My caliber can beat your caliber. Okay, we'll play that game. 866-TALK-GUN is the number, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. Of course, you can follow me over on Twitter, where I am at Gun Talk. I post a lot of things through the week, a lot of news items. You can really stay informed that way. It's think of it as a news feed, if you will, on Twitter. On Instagram, you can follow us. Instagram, we just posted one of the funniest videos. It's an outtake, or actually not even an outtake. It's kind of just a weird behind-the-scenes thing that happened on one of our video shoots recently, and Ryan waiting to do his stand-up piece. And I think we have that on our Facebook page, too. So follow us or like us on Facebook as well. It's an interesting time when it comes to product. Guns, ammo, optics, accessories, suppressors. A lot of things going on. A lot of technology being brought to bear in the development of interesting products. People trying to make things better, always good, cheaper, faster, more powerful, less powerful, do more, whatever it is. We're using high-end technology and materials. It's amazing what we have available right now. Joining us to talk about that and kind of what these guys are up to, Matt Pruitt joins us from Lewis Machine and Tool, LMT. Hey, Matt, welcome to Gun Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, if you would, tell people about LMT, a little bit about the company.
Lewis Machine and Tool, founded by Carl Lewis back in 1980. He's got a long history of actually making parts for a lot of other gun companies in the world. And then in the 90s, finally started putting his name on a weapon. And then in 2000 is when we got the patent on the monolithic upper. So we have the patent on a monolithic, two locking bolts for the 5.56. And then later in 09 came the 308 caliber, which was then the registered rifle, the DMR rifle of choice for the United Kingdom Ministry of Defense. So that's their 300 to 800 meter engagement rifle. It's a 308 7.62 caliber. And then most recently in 2014, and then deliveries in 2015 started, is back to the monolithic on the 5.56. When we made it ambidextrous, we won the contract for all of New Zealand. All the Army, Navy, Air Force, they now have all of LMT's monolithic, what we call our Mars L, modular ambidextrous rifle system, lightweight. So that's the 5.56 caliber. Okay,
so if you're having to explain to somebody why they would be interested in a monolithic receiver, what's in it for them? Why?
Very, very simple. Two things that make it remarkably different than everybody else's rifle. One, when you have the handguards that are at the same measurements, the same piece of metal as your upper receiver is, you're guaranteed that your optic is lined up, no matter where you place it, to the barrel. And in fact, when we make a monolithic upper, first thing we machine is that top rail. And every other measurement is off of that rail because we know you want to look through an optic to be able to shoot whatever you're aiming at. So that lines up everything, and we know the exact measurements it takes to make that perfectly straight. So, there's some people out there that are pretty good at twisting handguards or they hit stuff as they run into rooms and do amazing things. And we know that ours, you can literally just take a beating and keep on rocking.
So and then secondly, if you got to run through a wall, which is what some of these guys are doing with your stuff, it'll hold together.
Absolutely. So, and then, Then secondly is I don't have to go see an armor. I don't have to have a whole new receiver. I don't have to have anything else. I can change calibers. I can change from gas to piston. I can change barrel lengths. I can choose material types from chrome to stainless. I can actually now, without changing anything else to my gun, including optics or anything else, I just change the barrel, and now I'm much more set for what the mission calls for and less of just whatever I have on hand to go shoot. So we have some of our other international customers on the 308 caliber. They have a 20-inch barrel. If they're doing Overwatch at the same time, they carry a 13.5 in case they're close quarters and need to go through walls. But they have something much easier to get around and move around with. Same weapon, they just got two barrels to pick which one they're going to use.
Seems to me that would make an armorer's job or somebody who's doing supplies a lot easier in terms of having what you need and being able to customize and maybe cut down on how much stuff you have to keep in stock.
Absolutely. Well, think about this from an armorer's perspective. One of the biggest things they have to do is clean and find out why something's not shooting the way it should shoot. And imagine taking one bolt out, and then I take the whole barrel out, and I can look down the center of the barrel. It's out of the receiver. It's easy to handle, manipulate. There literally is no extra tools except for a little Torx bolt you got to take out, and the barrel comes right out, and I can do whatever I want, manipulate with it. And in that case, just drop a new barrel in. So 30 seconds, I could put a new barrel in, and I'm back to going to regular, well-working rifle again.
Wow. Okay. All right. So as we like to say, that's all great, but what have you done for me lately? So you guys you never sleep. Or what have you guys done recently? What's the coolest thing we're going to be talking about here?
Well, there's a lot of cool things that are coming out. I think there's a lot of that's going to come at SHOT Show that we're excited to go through. But two things that are new that we've done, and one of them it's an upgrade from the Mars. We had a Mars L, and now we have a Mars H, which is basically just a big brother version. We've done ambidextrous magazine releases and ambidextrous selectors, but we added the ambidextrous bolt catch release, which is exactly what the 5.56 has. And it may seem like a very simple thing, but when if you're a right-handed shooter and your right hand doesn't have to leave the grip, or if let's say you got a stovepipe or a double feed or something's jammed up, I can actually pull the charging handle back with my left hand. I can engage the bolt stop with my right index finger. You use my left hand, I can drop the mag, use my left hand, get rid of whatever is in the way. I can actually release it in the right hand. I can throw a new mag in, all of that without taking my primary off the grip. And that may seem like a small thing, but when you're in an actual situation, if I have to take my primary hand off the grip, I now have to pull my barrel off the line. I've got to yell to my teammates that I'm down. They've got to provide cover action. But if I have my hand on the grip, now it's a primary remedial action, something I can fix in 30, 60 seconds. My barrel doesn't come off the line. And if I'm looking at bad guys, the bad guys see another barrel. Whether it's shooting at them or not, they see another barrel at you. So it may seem like a small thing, but now we've added that to our 308 caliber. We have a lot of our internationals that are requesting full ambidextrous on the 308. So the Mars H is the one that's coming out now. And then the really big thing that we have is what's called our CSW, a confined space weapon.
Exactly.
That one came out of it was born out of a requirement. Those guys that don't exist, that ask for weird stuff. And we took one of those missions on, and what they really wanted was they wanted a 24-inch gun, a replacement for an MP5, but they want rifle caliber. They don't want pistol caliber. So we made a couple of years ago was called our PDW, a professional defense weapon. It's 24 inches. And one of the differences that we did on a 5.56 platform was instead of making the barrel 3 inches shorter, we actually shrunk the stock by 3 inches. And the idea behind it is now I have a better lead thrower, less of a flamethrower. So it's a 10.5-inch barreled weapon, but I can tuck it under my armpit and it doesn't hang out below my suit coat. So if I'm doing VIP protection or I'm going inside of a boat hole, I can operate corners more effectively without a giant stock in my way. Well, what happened this last year was we took that to the next level by taking that PDW and added a built-in integral suppressor. So now the whole system is suppressed. You're talking 300 blackout, 24-inch overall weapon platform. That's 140 decibels or less. It's very tiny. It's very concealable. It is the latest and greatest that you can get. What we've done for that one in particular was, for that client, was we actually made it so it's designed to shoot subsonic ammunition.
Right.
That's its main purpose. But
sure.
we know that if you're going and you're shooting 300 blackout, you're typically shooting at people that are maybe 25 feet away, 10 feet away. So everything's close quarters. So you don't need that accuracy at distance. You need accuracy at being quiet. Right. Now, if I'm in a building and I'm shooting, I'm doing whatever I need to, and then I go out of a building, and now all of a sudden I've got a target at 300 yards away, and they've seen me, and quiet isn't my friend anymore. I don't need that. I need distance. I need lethality at distance. In our system, you can actually take the subsonic magazine out, leave any round chambered in it, subsonic round in, throw in a supersonic magazine, and no changes, no operator changes at all. Just keep pulling the trigger. It'll cycle sub and super together as much as you want. It'll just keep processing that ammunition.
Military is going to be all over that.
Military is all over that. It's a big deal when you don't have extra buttons on there, because those guys do amazing things.
All right, but let me ask you this. So for the average citizen out here, I mean, I'm thinking home defense gun. That sounds like a home run.
Yes. Well, it's amazing when you shoot a gun. It's a lot of fun, but when you're using it in protection, things get amped up, things get amplified really quick. So does sound. And so when it's cranked up and you're inside of a house and you have a lot of sound, this is a great way to get rid of it. And it's meant for that. I can turn a corner very sharp. I can turn it very easily. Nothing's in my way. I don't have excessive recoil. And let's be honest, subsonic ammunition is great for sound, but it's also great for the fact it doesn't have a tremendous amount of velocity to keep going once you hit a target.
Well, but you're also hitting something with rifle level energy and not handgun level energy, which is a serious upgrade.
A dramatic difference.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what do we call this, Matt? What do we call it?
We call it CSW, Confined Space Weapon, CSW.
Okay, is that on the website now?
It is. It's on the website, lmtstore.com. That one's up there. We've also got a number of other new things that are up there. But I think what you're seeing, though, is a foray of LMT getting into the suppressor market. And what we've done is we didn't just design suppressors. We thought, hey, let's add a bunch of baffles into a can, and there you go. We actually went with Lawrence Livermore National Labs. We partnered up with somebody whose science is behind making this product.
You're talking about people who are actually really, no kidding, rocket scientists.
Really, no kidding, rocket scientists, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. They make the Polaris rockets. And, so they've been working with RDEC, Army Research Development Corporation, since 2009 with SOCOM, just to try to make a better suppressor for a rifle. So we partnered up with them a couple of years ago and trying to take their idea and commercialize it, make it into a real, actual product that you could buy today. So this isn't just LMT going, hey, we're the best, here you go. What we did was what we're the best at, which is machining products, right? We do a very good job of making a lot of parts for people. What we did was we went to some people that are very good at the theory and the design behind it and said, this is how you make it a reality. So we took their technology, implemented it into a suppressor can, put it on the gun, and there you go.
All right, hey Matt, I'm up against my break, man. I've got to roll out here, but the information is on the website now. Do they go to lmtdefense.com or LMT Store?
LMTdefense.com is going through some repairs at the moment. The LMT Store for another week or two.
Okay, lmtstore.com. You can see all about this. We'll pick this up later. We'll talk a little bit more about all the cool things you guys are doing. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. lmtstore.com. All right. Open lines, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back.
When you want the highest quality ammunition, look to HSM. Since 1968, hunters and shooters have counted on HSM cartridges, including world-renowned Trophy Gold, featuring Berger VLD bullets, Pro Pistol Hunter, Cowboy Action, and the new Game King, featuring field-proven Sierra bullets. HSM's new revolutionary low-recoil rifle loads hit game hard, but kick much less. Low-recoil loads use standard weight-for-caliber Sierra hunting bullets in 7 popular calibers. HSM at your local shooting sports retailer.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
There's only one place where you can buy that firearm you've always wanted and turn it into your very own. That place is Brownells.com. Now offering a huge selection of firearms from all your favorite brands. Brownells is the spot to buy online. When you're choosing your gun, be sure to look over the enormous selection of parts, accessories, ammo, and more to make that firearm your masterpiece. Brownells.com. Serious about firearms.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham, 866 Talk Gun. Austin's on line 4 out of Waco, Texas. Hey, Austin, what caliber? You got to pick one.
30-06.
Okay, why?
My dad has a Springfield 1901 and 30-06.
Not an 03.
No, 03.
Okay.
My grandfather had a Bushmaster.
Yep.
No, Woodmaster.
Woodmaster. Remington Woodmaster, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, 30-06.
And what do you shoot? What do you take out?
Well, I take out a 6.8 or a 300 Blackout.
Why not a 30-06?
Well, the gun does not belong to me yet.
But you had a choice to buy something. You didn't get to. Now, 6.5 obviously is a great caliber, and the truth of it is it will probably do everything the 30-06 will do, as long as you do your part, right?
Correct. And one thing, Waco did not happen in Waco. It happened in Elk.
Elk, Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Why do we call it Waco?
Because it was the closest large city.
Oh, okay. So probably only the people in Waco and Elk know that. So
correct.
There you go. All right, I appreciate that. 30-06 is still kind of leading the pack on this deal. Let's go to one. Ken's with us out of Medford, Oregon. Hey, Ken, you're on Gun Talk. Range report.
Hey, I bought myself an HK VP9, pretty awesome pistol. Mm-hmm. I called in earlier in the spring about shooting my firearms instructor's VP9, and I outshot him, so I said I have to have one of these.
Okay.
I took it to the range, and every time I went to shoot it, it stovepiped the second round. It would not cycle. And I'm sitting there, I got the law enforcement version, so I had 3 different magazines, so I tried all 3 different magazines to see if that was what the problem was. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there scratching my head, and we have a firearms instructor at our range that he happened to be there that day. Mm-hmm. And he came over and asked me what was going on, and I told him. He picked it up, and it did the same thing to him.
Ooh.
And then he thought, well, wait a minute. So then he changed the magazine out, took everything, but he only loaded 4 rounds into it, and then he took it out and held it like somebody was trying to take it away from him, and it cycled the rounds. So then he asked me to do the same thing.
Okay.
And unless I was holding it like somebody was trying to take it out of my hand, it would not cycle the rounds. But when I held it like that, it would.
So it demands a lot of resistance. You've got to really put some resistance to it and lean into it, and then it'll work. But if you're giving it less resistance, I'm wondering, you know what might work here? I mean, I don't know. I guess let me ask you the question. What are you looking for from me? I have an idea, but what are you looking for?
Well, my concern is when I shot my friend's VP9, I held it pretty much the same way I hold my 44 mag pistol, and which is stout but not really hard.
Right.
And it sounded fine. And then I was actually able to shoot his one-handed. Mine won't shoot one-handed at all, no matter how hard you hold it.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking here? I'm just playing with an idea. I wonder, and I have not looked, so I don't know about this. If you could get a spring that was just a little bit weaker, recoil spring, I'm wondering if that might fix the problem for you.
Interesting.
I'm just thinking about what's happening here is you really got to essentially lock in the grip, the receiver, so the slide will go back. Otherwise, if you give it all, the slide comes back, but it won't go quite all the way back. Now, when you say stovepipe, you're actually getting an empty that is getting hung up in the ejection port, right?
Actually, no. And that's why when I was explaining the stovepiping, it ejects the old shell, but the new round comes up and stands up.
Oh, well, that's a whole different deal. It's something when I say stovepiping, I'm looking at an empty that's sticking up out. You need to call a company, find out what's going on here. That's something weird. There's something going weird. I would call it HK and say, this is what's going on. And they're going to say, hey, send it back. Let's see what we can do here. Because I was thinking by stovepipe, I'm thinking an empty round gets hung up in there. But that's a different thing. You did a lot of troubleshooting. You did some good work with trying different mags and all. I think I would give HK a chance to make that right. Interesting. And look, once you figure it out, I'm curious now. Call us back and let us know what they say and how you fix it, because that's pretty darn interesting. Hadn't heard of that one. If you have any ideas of what's going on, give me a call. Maybe we can help him out. 866-TALK-GUN.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
I am looking at an article here. It is just fascinating. It's in the Spokesman Review in Spokane, Washington. The title of the article, headline, Spokane Police will add suppressors to rifles, citing concerns about hearing damage. Rifles carried by Spokane police on patrol will soon be equipped with suppressors, a move the department says will protect officers and civilians from hearing damage. Quote, it's nothing more than like the muffler you put on your car, close quote, said Lieutenant Rob Booth, the rangemaster and lead firearms instructor for the department. Outfitting the department's 181 service rifles with suppressors will protect the city from the legal costs of workers' compensation claims filed by officers, as well as from potential lawsuits filed by bystanders whose ears are exposed to firearm blasts. The sound of a fired shot can be louder than the takeoff of jet engines. Very interesting. And then they go on to talk about how a gunshot can reach 152 decibels. It says, and they say they make the point that they're called silencers, but they don't make guns silent, particularly not rifles. They said, but it reduces the noise level to 134 decibels. I guess it's OSHA says 140 is the level at which you can get permanent hearing damage with just a little bit of exposure. But what's interesting is they say This will reduce the sound to 134 decibels, which is still louder than a chainsaw. So for those like Hillary Clinton who say, well, wouldn't it have been terrible if this Las Vegas shooter had a suppressor, then we wouldn't have known basically what, that there were gunshots? Yeah, it only sounds like a chainsaw, and nobody could ever hear a chainsaw, right, Hillary? Good Lord. Now, here's a question for you. Will a police department getting suppressors and citing hearing damage be something that helps us with our Hearing Protection Act, where the rest of us can use these hearing protection devices, aka suppressors, and not have to pay $200 per item, federal tax, and not have to wait as long as a year? We can just go in and buy one. Under the Hearing Protection Act, you would still do a NICS check, a background check, but that would be instant in most cases, and you just buy it and walk out with it like you would a muffler for any other loud device. What do you think? Is this going to help with the passage of HPA? Line 2, Tori's in Washington. Hey, Tori.
Hey, Tom, I've just got to tell you, I've been listening to your show for a while, and you keep talking about how important a gun belt is, and like you say, you don't know what you don't know, and to me, I had a good leather belt, and that was good. So I went and I got me a Bigfoot belt, and there's just no comparison. I mean, you can carry... I'm carrying a Model 19, and I don't even notice it.
Isn't it interesting? You think, well, I've got a big, wide belt. It's a thick leather belt. Surely that's okay, and you don't even know what you're missing out on. And you put the gun belt on. All right, here's a question for you. After you put on your Bigfoot gun belt and you put your gun on it, you get all snugged up, how long did it take you to appreciate the difference?
Immediately. It didn't cut in. I got a crossbreed, and it didn't. It improved that even. You know, didn't dig in, and you didn't feel the weight. It was just amazing. I mean, night and day, just instantly.
Okay, and now listen. You have been hearing me say this for a long time, right?
Oh yes.
What is it that made you finally say, "Hey, I think maybe I ought to try this"?
Well, I'd called in. I'd been shooting a J-frame and running 357 through it. I said, well, maybe I'll just buy me some more ammo and then get me a car pistol because I'm carrying the J-frame, reloading takes so long. And so out of that logic, I bought a Marlin 60-22 rifle, and then I bought the Bigfoot belt because I thought, you know, instead of getting a new gun, let's just optimize what we have. And the 22 was just because I could.
Well, yeah, but I kind of like where you're going with this. Okay, instead of saying, well, gee, the gun I'm carrying is a little bit uncomfortable, maybe I'll get a different gun. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with getting another gun, but at the same time, you're thinking, yeah, but you know, I still have a nice gun here. Why don't I find a way to make it more comfortable so I can carry it all the time without it being a hassle? And I mean, I know there are people listening to us right now who are saying, yeah, Tom, yeah, Tori, you guys keep talking about belts. Give me a break. It's a belt. It's just a belt, right? And that's what you were thinking.
Yes, but they've got to listen. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I was just so amazed at the difference.
It is startling, and you do this thing where you're thinking, I was a knucklehead. I kept hearing this, and I didn't do it, right? Am I right?
Oh, yeah. No, he's just saying that to sell gun belts for somebody, you know, something like that.
Yes.
But no, that's not it at all.
And I tell people, look, yes, we have advertisers who make belts, and yes, it would be nice if you bought one of those. But you want to know what the bottom line is? I don't care. Just get a gun belt from somebody who makes gun belts. And what you will find is that your holster, all of a sudden, you're going, wow, this holster is better than I thought it was. Oh, wow, I can actually carry my gun. Oh, I can carry it all day long, and it doesn't get uncomfortable. Just get a freaking good gun belt from somebody, right?
Yes, and I regret that I hadn't done it sooner. But like you say, you don't know what you don't know, and you can hear people tell you all day until you finally experience it. It's hard to believe it.
Well, you know what's fun about this? Because I'm hearing in your voice, Tori, you know what you have become now? You have become a gun belt evangelist.
Yes, sir.
You're singing the praise, and you do. It's one of those. It's one of those forehead slapping moments where you're going, really? That's all it took? What was I thinking?
Perfect analogy. Yes.
Yeah, it really is. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for sharing that. I know there are a ton of people who are still hearing us and thinking, hey, it's just a belt. If you had one last chance to tell them something, Tori, what would you tell them?
Go buy a proper gun belt today.
Today. I love it. Thank you so much. You take care. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Have you had the gun belt epiphany? I would love to hear the story. We'll be right back.
It's the next generation target pistol, the SW22 Victory from Smith & Wesson. Stainless steel frame, interchangeable match barrel, thumb safety, fiber optic sights, and a Picatinny rail. The SW22 Victory is ready for anything, targets or small game. Also available with a threaded barrel or cryptic camo finish. And it's backed by the Smith & Wesson Lifetime Service Policy. Learn more about the SW22 Victory at smith-wesson.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or gundealio.com.
Laser sights offer an immediate advantage when visibility is poor and seconds count. Laser sights can de-escalate a deadly encounter by engaging the target with a laser, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022-style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. Let's go to the phones because we do get some help from our friends now and then. Line 1, Peter's with us out of Wasilla, Alaska. Peter, you got some help for us?
Yeah, I've been a gunsmith for about 40 years or so, and I've run into this problem now and then with different guns. And a lot of times the gentleman needs to look at his empty cases, his fired cases, to see what condition the outside surface is in, because they could be scratched up, and that could designate he's got a rough chamber. Even on new guns, I've seen this, and that slows down everything and can cause stovepiping and a lot of problems with ejection. And also, too, if he's got a heavy spring in there, what you do you don't cut them down. What you do is use a buffing wheel with a kind of a coarse compound on it, and you buff the outside of the spring while you're turning it on the mandrel like a piece of wood dowel. And you want to just take off a little bit at a time and fire the gun and see how it's doing to lighten the spring. You never cut down a coil off of the spring.
Because you'll hear people talk about that. Yeah, I cut one coil off the spring.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that, huh?
No, it doesn't work. You're changing the dynamics of the spring. What you want to do is lighten the tension. When you cut the spring short and you change everything on it, it still has the same tension. And it doesn't do a lot. It might work on some guns, but after a while, you'll find out that the spring is too short and too weak.
Well, and I love the idea of maybe if you have a rough chamber, it's sticking and basically just slowing things down, and that's why he's having to give it all this resistance. And because the gun's going to be essentially non-functional in a one-handed shooting situation like that. Good ideas, and those are inexpensive ideas to look at before you start chasing big problems there.
Yeah, and you can, you got to be careful if you polish out that chamber. Use an extremely fine wet and dry sandpaper, and you don't want to run into the rifling. But I've seen that so many times. The Browning Auto 5, if you have a rough magazine tube, will not eject a cartridge, so you polish it up. And that's what took care of that every time.
That's interesting. And that's the kind of stuff where you being a gunsmith for so many years, you've seen all these things, you've talked to other gunsmiths, you come up with these ideas, you go, okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do here. And the rest of us are going, I don't know what to do here. And you're going, yeah, I got that. I've seen it. Been there, done that, right?
Exactly.
All right. Peter, thank you so much. Good information. Good idea. I would not have thought of that. But then again, I'm not a gunsmith. Don't play one on TV either. Thank you, sir. Speaking of TV, if you get a chance, check out that video that we posted, the outtake video of Ryan. It's really, really funny. It's on Instagram. I think it's on the Gun Talk Facebook page also. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, by the way, we are now putting on our YouTube channels and our OTT, they call it, over the top. That's Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV channels, the Gun Venture shows. And we just put up the one where we were wing shooting. I really like that one. Ryan was hunting pheasants. I was hunting grouse. Fun stuff. And also I got a shotgun fitting. If you want to know about shotgun fitting, you will learn a ton of this. And we've got it all on our Gun Talk Media. Look for Gun Talk Media on YouTube, and you can see what I'm talking about. I also think we got, frankly, some of the best video footage of pheasants flushing and being shot and walking through the corn and all that. Just turned out it was just gorgeous, and we're using some interesting technology to get some of this stuff. So take a look, see what you think, see if that works out for you. All right, let's see here. I tell you what, Caitlin, don't go anywhere. I'm going to come to you on the backside of this. I have less than a minute. I don't have time. It wouldn't be fair to you. But we're going to have Caitlin up first. And if you'd like to join us, it's really easy. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, I want to get your thoughts on, again, we're still talking about favorite cartridges. We can still get you in on that one. If you had to, let's take the hunting thing and go a different direction. If you had to pick one handgun caliber for self-defense. Man, it all depends, right? Well, yeah, how big's the gun? Are you carrying it all the time? Is it a home defense gun? I don't know. But if you had to say, okay, I can only have one, I get it, I understand. None of us wants to do with just one. It's kind of a thing that we do, but it is fun. 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, we'll be talking about self-defense, hunting rounds, and more right here on Gun Talk. right, back with you here. Caitlin's with us on line 2 out of Medford, Oregon. Hey, Caitlin.
Hi, Tom.
Listen, I know I can see what you're asking about, and so to help with this, we're going to bring in Michelle Cleland, who is our call screener, but also she is one of the personalities on the after show. She also runs a gun store and is a shooter and a teacher. So if you would, go ahead and throw the question out, and then we'll bring Michelle in to help out, okay?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
So my question basically is, I'm 20 years old. I believe in my state I'm not allowed to buy my own guns until I'm 21. And I'll be turning 21 soon, and I'm just hoping to know what you guys suggest when you're at a gun store, what to do when looking at a gun, how to know if you like it or not, what's appropriate to do or not, because, gun safety and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look like an idiot either,
Well, good for you. Michelle, I know you have some thoughts on this.
I do. First off, federally, you have to be 21 years of age to be able to possess and own a firearm. I guess I'm going to say own because you can't be given a handgun.
A handgun, right.
Correct. But secondly, Caitlin, the biggest thing I can tell you to do is do some research on the stores that you're going to be going to. Find out what kind of reputation they have for instructing. Find out if they have firearms that you can try out. And I would first recommend you starting out with something in a .22 caliber, just so you understand what shooting is all about and how a firearm works. And then you get an idea, do you like the semi-automatic, do you like the revolvers? And from there, kind of upgrade your caliber and just work small increments. Don't make big jumps. And don't let somebody else's ego on one side of the sales table get in your way. And know what feels good by what shoots well for you.
So would you suggest finding a store that has a shooting range where she can try guns?
Right. Yeah, that's the first thing I would do. And, we've talked about how important it is to first know how a gun functions. Obviously, knowing where the muzzle is pointed and how to open it up and make sure that it's safe is key. And Caitlin, I'm approaching this from the aspect that you've never even had one shown to you, or you've never held one to even know what to do. So, finding that person is like, okay, look, break this down and make it really, really simple for me, because it's difficult for you to go into a store. We understand that.
Yeah, it is. So, Caitlin, what's going on? Why are you thinking about getting a handgun?
Well, actually, I was given one by my parents, so I do have one, and I am familiar with guns. But I know that I would like to have more in the future, and I've never actually been in the store when they were purchased, so I've never known what's appropriate, and I would be a little nervous about making somebody else uncomfortable with the way I handle it, and I also don't want to be too timid with it, because I need to be able to know what I like,
Well, basic rules of gun safety. Don't point a gun at anybody in the store would be a good place to start. And Michelle, I know you have the stories of you guys doing the dance, jumping out of the way. But the main thing, I think, and I would just jump right in here, is if you go to a store and you're uncomfortable, go to another store. But if you can get one-on-one time with an instructor, I would really encourage that. And Michelle, jump in, but I think if you could find a female instructor, even better.
I was just going to recommend that. Yeah, find somebody in there that understands where you're coming from. Most of us anymore, we see more and more females coming into our stores, and we know that it's not always we know that it's the first time that you're coming in. So we know you really try to simplify things. So just have fun and get out there and try them.
All right, Caitlin, thank you so much for the call. I'll tell you, Michelle, you're going to stay with us because we're going to do the after show. For those who don't know, Michelle does this kind of stuff. It makes me just look bad because she's so good at it. And we're going to continue with the after show. If you'd like to be a part of that, give us a call right now, 866-TALK-A-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. If you're going to be out shooting this week, be safe.